I got a question. Did you lose any friends during the transition of going from just a complete atheist to believing in Christ and researching, everything that was happening in the Bible?
No, I don't think I lost. But I can tell you there was some tension. There was some, mocking. I mean, they teased me a lot.
Yeah.
And for years, I mean, if I see, it's been how many years now? It's been 23 years.
Right.
And my guy who was my partner with me, he eventually retired as a lieutenant. And if we see each other even now, he will say something that because he knew me before that will mock me. Because a lot of the times before I was a Christian, we would encounter Christians on the job who had just committed a crime of some sort, and they would tell us they were Christians in the car on the way to jail. And so my partners, I would always mock this. We would always kind of make fun of these guys because what a hypocrite, right? I mean, he's telling us, and some of the things we would watch them do, we were in a surveillance team, we would watch guys do crimes, and we're like thinking, how can these two things coexist? Your identity as a Christian, yet you're this behavior. And so I would say things that are pretty derogatory about Christians to my buddies. Well, then years later, they would kind of throw those things back at you.
Yeah, because the reason I asked that is I feel like some people, if they're in an environment where, it's not really like popular to be Christian and believe in that, they're just afraid that they'll.
Yeah, well, you are. Look, this is what's so interesting. If you look at the Sermon on the Mount, one of the most important sermons that any teacher of any moral, regardless of where you come from, any moral teaching in the world, Sermon on the Mount is one of those great episodes of teaching. And what Jesus says in that, he goes through all the Beatitudes, right? All the blesseds, And then at the very end, he says, blessed are you. He's talking to his disciples. Blessed are you when people insult you. He doesn't say if. He says, when people insult you and persecute you and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
He doesn't say, hey, that stinks. Sorry, too bad for you. No, he says, rejoice and be glad when this is going to happen. So rejoice and be glad when it happens because, great is your reward in heaven. So what he basically is saying is, life is not a line segment of 90 years, birth to death. It's a ray. It goes from birth through the point we call death and on forever. And you may not see a reward in the first 90. You might not see a reward in the line segment, but your reward beyond the line segment, beyond the second dot in the ray of eternity will be great. And we've got to be focused on the other side of the second dot. Because that's where he says, for in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. And here's why that happens. Anytime you speak the words of God into a world of fallen humans, like the prophets did, like Jesus did, so he tells us you're not going to be liked. Mm-hmm. So here's the struggle. Why would anyone want to jump into this worldview if in the end it's going to cost you your popularity? Right. And it may very well do that.
That's not the end. There's
right. Well, also, wouldn't you rather hold on to the truth than this thing that's lies? Do you want to bend your knee to a lie every day just to be popular? I don't. So that's part of why I think the struggle is worth doing.
All right. Thank you. I think that'll help a lot of people.
Yeah, I hope it does.